Oh, good.
We're going chasing.
Hello there, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Hello now, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Now, we have a lot on the agenda, lads, so we'll cut the chase and get straight down to the business.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of We're Going Chasing. There was an awful lot of racing action called off over the weekend. Ascot was the most noticeable loss that we had. So we missed out on Jonbon versus El Fabiolo, which was a big blow, and a lot of other good racing. Navan took centre stage on Saturday. ITV Racing covered it well as well. Had 4 races on ITV. Obviously an inspection at 7:30. Had to push that out. Another inspection at 9:30. And eventually at around 10 o'clock, the track was deemed fit for racing, which was a great boost for national hunt fans both in Ireland and the UK, Killian.
Yeah, thank God Navan was on. I don't know what I would have done yesterday. Arsenal was over at 2 o'clock, so
Yeah.
it would have been a long afternoon then.
It would have, yeah. You would have had to watch Longford.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have watched Longford.
Would you not?
No,
Longford against Dublin, Auburn Cup final.
No.
The Dubs bet in the final, which was great to see.
Longford.
Look, we don't have a whole pile of racing to go through, but indeed we'll go through what we have. Asian Master won a rated novice hurdle at Navan. Beat Better Days Ahead by 10 lengths. Now was getting about £15, I think, from Better Days Ahead, but did so. Obviously won well. Tom Costello, pushed the horse out in the finish, but he did unbelievably well, really, to even make that weight. I know that he only found out during the week that he had to make the weight he did. He thought he had an extra £5, and he found out on Wednesday that he didn't. So he had a bit of pressure on him. He's 6'4", so he's a huge man. And I know that he was on yogurts and whatnot, I think, doing his best to get racing, but indeed he did make the weight, and it was well worth it.
Yeah, it was. He absolutely hosed up, and geez, you can see him riding, and he's so tall. He looks awkward in it, but he's obviously a very good rider, and he got a very easy win there yesterday. I'd say on Asian Master, he's a nice horse. It'd be interesting to see what kind of mark he gets now for the spring festivals. But I'd say maybe chasing might be his game next year. But Better Days Ahead, he looks like he could be one of Gordon's darts at the Martin Pipe. Like, they always thought a lot of him. Like, they ran him in the champion bumper last year. He finished down the field, but Jamie Codd was on him that day, and like he fell on hurdles debut. He's a mark of 134 before yesterday. Like, he was only 5 lengths behind Slade Steele in Navan, and he's a pretty good horse there. So he could be one for the Martin Pipe, and I suppose it'd be interesting to see which one Danny Gilligan gets up on. Probably the yard number 1 there, but he's definitely a horse to be targeted for that, I'd say.
Yeah, it was interesting too, listening to Tom Costello's interview after the race. He was saying how sick they were that the horse was betting his point-to-point first time out, that they really expected him to win, and how disappointed they were. And obviously time told that the horse that beat him fact to file was obviously quite useful. And they actually bumped into one, so with time passing, they realised that it wasn't actually the end of the world. Harvard Guy won at Navan as well. He had a 252-day break before he turned up at the Navan Racing Festival. Won a handicap hurdle there off a rating of 109. Came back to Navan the 17th of December, just before Christmas. Again, won another handicap hurdle, and now again this weekend wins a handicap hurdle off 131. Each race was over 2 mile 4, and it looks like he's the kind of horse who can improve again, and maybe even a step up in trip. The way he saw that race out and grinded it out, you'd be thinking 3 miles could bring out further improvement in him, Killian.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably happy enough with 2.5 at the moment, and he's a bit of a Navan specialist now. So I don't know if there's any race in Navan in the next couple of meetings to see if there's something there for him. But I'd say when he goes up to 3 miles, he could even be better than that. So he was a very cozy winner. I thought, like, it's only 3/4 of a length winning distance, but like Mark Walsh's minding those handicap marks. He's not blowing them like so. Like he's won by 3/4 of a length, 2 lengths, and now 3/4 of a length again. So they're not going to blow the handicap in one day. So yeah, I'd say he goes up to 3 miles maybe the next couple of runs, and he could be even better. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a few talking points from Navan really on Saturday, and probably none more so than Manila Kakunar. I'm just trying to look at the odds here. He's a good price at 12 to 1 for the National Hunt Chase. He's in as short as 7 to 1 in places there. Sky Bet are 7 to 1, Bet365 are 12 to 1. But obviously a high class hurdler. Things hadn't really gone his way so far over fences. Now he finished second at Goran last year in what was an unbelievably tough race, I think, and a lot of those horses who ran that day weren't seen for a long time after. Manila Kakunar then came back at Leopardstown at Christmas and was very disappointing, but albeit off a layoff of almost 400 days. But jumped very well at Navan, I thought. Popped them lovely. A bit Senior Chief by 3 lengths. And Senior Chief is a nice horse too. Has nice form around Navan too. Won a nice hurdle race there last year. And they were well clear of the remainder. So that looks like it could be quite nice form. And if he was turned up to a National Hunt Chase there with Patrick Mullins on board, you'd certainly be taking a second look.
Yeah, sure. If he turned up to National Hunt Chase of Patrick, he's probably favourite, isn't he?
He is
Um,
indeed, yeah. You'd
so
imagine so.
he's a Grade One winning hurdler. He was second in the Bartlett, and he was second to the Nice Guy again in Punchestown over hurdles. And I suppose he's had a sort of indifferent, tough going he's only had 3 runs since that race at Punchestown a year and a half ago now. So he's probably hard enough to keep right. But yeah, I'd say if he turned up to the National Hunt Chase, and he's qualified now because that was 3 miles, so he's qualified for the race. And like I'd imagine it'll be there as opposed to an Irish national for him as well. Just on the basis that he's only had a couple of runs this season. I don't think they'd want to chuck him into that, to be honest. And he's probably better suited to a small field as well, and he'd probably get that in the National Hunt Chase. So yeah, I'd say if he's confirmed to run it, he's going to go off a short price. But I suppose it's guesswork at this stage, isn't it? To see, like, you've Embassy Gardens, Nick Rocket as well. So it's hard
Yeah.
to know.
It's very hard to know. And the RSA is there too, which I'm sure is an option.
Yeah, I just don't know. Is he good enough? Like, on his hurdles form, it should put him there, but I don't know. Has he really improved? Has he shown much of an improvement in the 3 starts to put him into the RSA picture? Like beating Senior Chief 2 lengths, is that RSA form? It's probably not.
It's probably not, but in terms of what is he going to come on from it, like the race before that, just after Christmas at Leopardstown, he's bet 43 lengths by fact to file.
Yeah,
You know, obviously after a long layoff, he's took one step forward. If he took another step forward, I don't know if they'll run him between now and Cheltenham or will they go straight to Cheltenham. It's hard to know.
yeah. When's
Um,
the 3 mile graded race in Navan? The
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 10 up,
10 up. Yeah.
yeah.
When is that?
That's the 11th February.
Yeah, might be a bit tight to that, but if he
Mm.
runs there, he'd have a chance of winning that if he was there, and that might be the stepping stone to Cheltenham.
Yeah, yeah. It very well
But he had a
could.
hard race yesterday, though, so it's hard to know if he come back
Mm.
there again.
Yeah, it was testing, very testing
Yeah,
there too. Um, then looking across the pond, Killian at Lingfield, we had Lhomme Presse, bet Protectorate by 2.25 lengths, very plucky. Obviously very high class on his day. Another one who's been off the track for a very long period of time. But it's hard really to gauge how good he really is after that layoff, but he should improve from what we saw today.
yeah, I'm sure he will. But it's just it's hard to know. Like, if we'll say Cheltenham is only 6 weeks, 7 weeks away now, like, he probably won't run again before that. They're going to drop him into the Gold Cup off one run around Lingfield against Protectorate. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's a great prep. Like, maybe he's very high in the weights. Like, he obviously wouldn't be going to the national off 170, but maybe he could hold fire for entry with him. Maybe get another run in sometime in February. But I'd find it very hard to see him hitting the frame in the Gold Cup just off that run, and like he was very game and he was good, but I struggle to see how he could like that wouldn't you wouldn't beat Galloping Deschamps off that. That's the first thing. So you're nearly saying we can't win the Gold Cup. Then you have the likes of Shishkin, Jerry Clone, Fast or Slow, Hewick, Gentleman's Game, Brave Man's Game, even Corrick Rambler. Like, would he beat those? I don't know. Like, Protectorat form is a long way down the pecking order now, isn't it? Like
Hmm.
he was third in the handicap the last day, but he's hammered in the Betfair Chase before that. He was well beaten in the Gold Cup last year. He's had wind surgery and everything. Like, I don't know. I'd say it's probably not fantastic form. It's probably not great. It's not grade one form anyway. Beating him, so he'd have to take a big step forward. I'm sure they know how he's going at home, but would I like to back him at 8 or 9 to 1? I don't think so.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I'd certainly leave him go to it at 8 or 9 to 1.
His
You'd
best price
almost
12s,
you'd
but
almost
even
get
at that,
some
it's very short.
you get something like that nearly a lot closer to the time when you know if he's going
Yeah,
or not.
and they're all anything that's in the betting now is going to run it. So
Yeah, yeah, no, he'd be one if you liked him, you'd certainly be holding fire.
yeah, yeah,
Until you found out for sure what his medium term plans are. One that you'd imagine will be turning up to Cheltenham Killian is Ferns Loch. Very impressive again at Thurles today. He's another horse in the green. Romeo Magico was in second. Ferns Loch went off very short. But and he's obviously one of David Christie's probably best young hunter chasers, really. But he was disappointing last year in races that he was expected to win, particularly at Fairyhouse.
yeah. It was just
Um,
Fairyhouse really, and like, geez, I
yeah,
couldn't believe he was beaten that day. Like he was long odds on, and Um, I remember being there that day, and geez, it was just like even coming to the third or fourth last, I was thinking, this lad's going to absolutely hose up here, and like Animix was nearly detached out the back. I thought he was going to be pulled
yeah,
up, and he ended up staying on and beating him. So I don't know, like he was beaten at Christmas, but I probably entitled to come on for the run. But it's an Emmett horse to beat him at Christmas, an Emmett horse that was second today. So I'm sure Emmett will have a nice line on that farm there. That, like, how good is Romeo Magico compared to it's on the line. But I think the Hunter Chase race in Cheltenham could be very good this year. Like, you do have
yeah,
Ferns Loch and it's on the line, and like Sam Crow can run in that this year.
yeah.
Um, like, you have obviously the other Christie horses, winged leader Vossile is there as well, I think. So, like, there's a good few of them there around the place, and I think what's the horse that won last year is back as well. So, yeah, that could be a very good race. But Ferns Loch is definitely like the young up and coming horse. Like, he's only 7, so he could be around for years.
He could, yeah, but he's probably one Killian that I'd be firmly against. To be honest with you, in terms of for the Hunter Chase at Cheltenham, I think 5 to 2 was an awful price. And I think that he looks great. He did it to won it today, lovely. But in terms of, like, does he really have the bit of fight for the battle in him? Like, you think back to that Fairyhouse race, he travelled the best out of the whole lot of them from memory. He travelled brilliantly, and then just on the home straight, he was out battled by Billaway, which there's no real shame in that. Billaway is a stout stayer. Animix obviously passed him out too, but he travelled brilliantly that day, and you would have expected him to win.
Yeah, I'd say
Every race that he has won, looking at it there, he's won it comfortably. 10
yeah.
lengths, 8 lengths, 8 lengths, 12 lengths. There was one there for 3 lengths. He's winning races and winning them easy.
Mm.
But that day at Fairyhouse, when it was put up to him by probably better classes of horses, he failed. And again, at Down Royal after Christmas, he failed but half a length, but it's on the line. I just wonder, is he a small bit soft in a bit of a battle? And at 5 to 2 in what could be a good race this year, you can keep it.
Yeah, I just think maybe he's a young horse last year up against real battle hardened horses in Billaway, and more specifically Billaway than Animix. But like, I think he was probably just a bit young and inexperienced. But that extra year under his belt now should make a big difference. I wouldn't mind the Down Royal race at Christmas at all. Like, I think he was he was fresh enough that day now, even though he had a run, but he was pulling hard enough, and I think his jumping really did let him down in Fairyhouse. But I thought he jumped well enough in Thurles today, so I'd say that he's the right favourite, but I don't really bet in the Hunter Chase anyway, so it makes no odds
No,
to me. Sam
no.
Crow, I'll back Sam Crow. I'd say on the day.
Yeah, no, it's not a race that you'd really be getting involved in,
Mm.
certainly at this time of the year anyway. Silent Approach, Killian, was one you gave a very favorable mention to only last week on the podcast. You probably didn't think that we'd be speaking about her again this
No.
week. She's been turned out again after just a week. So she was bet 9 lengths by Harmonia Maker at Thurles. What did you make of that after giving her such a glowing praise last week?
I remember seeing her entered I've seen her declared. I saw her entered earlier in the week, and I saw her declared on Thursday. I was like, or Friday. I said, "Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Like, it's madness." I thought, like she had such a hard race last week, against two good geldings, giving them weight, in Spillane Tower and Blood Destiny, and to come back out and have to run against two good mares as well. Like mares, she beat comfortably enough down in Cork as well. Maybe he thought, oh, we'll go. She's in good form. We'll go out and just win this, but. I don't know if she lost an awful lot in defeat. I think she travelled the best out of the three of them anyway, and just probably just ran out of gas. Like she had a hard race last week. So, if you were, I think if she went to the Mayor's Chase, she could have a great chance. I don't know what price she is. She's probably out. She was 33 last week, and I'd imagine she could be even a bigger price than that now. She's best price 40s now. And like if she went to that, she'd have a good chance, but. I wouldn't like to see her run again, to be honest. Like she was with Ollie Murphy for a couple of bumpers and was atrocious with them, but she didn't come back to Ireland. So the 11th of March this year, and she's had 13 runs since March last year. Like that's a lot. And obviously she takes her racing pretty well, but she's a maiden over hurdles. Like she's 0 for 9 over hurdles, 0 for 2 in bumpers, and she's 2 chase wins now. But I don't think she lost a lot in defeat, but she's I wouldn't like to see her run again. If you were to think about her for Cheltenham.
Yeah, no, certainly, but you wouldn't know what the plan is
Yeah.
really. With a horse from
Yeah, there's a race in
small
Fairyhouse
ones,
as
there might
well.
be different. There might be different plans. Cheltenham mightn't be on the radar at
Yeah,
all.
there's a race in Fairyhouse that might suit her as well, a
Yeah,
mare's race there. So she mightn't even go to Cheltenham, but if she did turn up, like I'd imagine she'd be probably 33s or 40s if she was there anyway. Like so,
yeah. Allaho, Killian, a horse that you have in the Ember, and I don't really agree with it. Either. I thought that he was brilliant today. I think that he's one that, and I know I did agree with you to an extent, but he's one you probably got a small bit wrong. That race at Clonmel didn't seem to take that much out of him. He was brilliant today. And just looking at the odds there for the Ryanair, you can get 5-2 on Allaho to win the Ryanair, a lot better than 5-2 on Ferns Loch to win the Hunter's Chase. And that's a much better bet. As far as I'm concerned, Banbridge are very ground dependent. So you couldn't really think about him until the week of the race. Stage Star and Envo Allen, two decent options, but Allaho at 5-2, I think is a fair price on him now at the moment after what we've seen.
yeah, I disagree with you completely. I think 5-2 is a terrible price. I wouldn't like to back him at 5-2 for the Ryanair. Like if you get good ground on Banbridge, Stage Star go better on good ground. In Vialan was probably going to go there now fresh, which I thought it was probably a good thing if you were an In Vialan backer for Ryanair that he didn't run today in bad ground in Thurles because the going was soft there for finish. They said it was soft, but it was very bad ground there when they ended up running this race. And like it ended up being just like it wiped out Appreciated and French Dynamite and Stackler, the 3 miler, or that's the 4 miler horse, really just sort of plugged on. But I don't know. I wouldn't like to. He's in the amber because it's amber for going forward reasons. I wouldn't like to back him at 5-2 in the Ryanair.
Yeah,
You can go off 6-4. You can go off odds on in the day for all I care. I still wouldn't like to have him backed at 5-2. I just think there has to be something else like lurking that. And I think it's Banbridge on good ground. I think Banbridge will win on good ground, but
sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pity that the Clarence House wasn't on. I was working, thinking about like, if El Fabiolo kicked John Bon aside, John Bon might step up and trip again. I think John Bon will win a Ryanair, if he went up
Yeah,
and trip. But that's not going to happen now. He's going to get a soft race next weekend in Cheltenham, I'd imagine. So
yeah.
he'll be in the champion chase.
On good ground, I'd take Stage Star ahead of Ben Bridge, to be honest.
Would you? Yeah,
I would, yeah. I just have doubts over Ben Bridge there in a real top class open company Grade One. I would have doubts. He's a great horse, very likable horse. One that I followed a nice bit last year, and I got great enjoyment out of it. And he obviously won a Grade One towards the end of the year. But I just would have my reservations as to whether he'd be up to the likes of an Allaho or a Stage Star on form. I nearly put a line through a Stage Star's last run.
I would as well, yeah. Yeah, I just don't think it's an
Yeah,
ideal prep is to be the thing I'd be thinking about. But like at the prices still I'd much rather back in Vialan each way at 9-1 than Allaho at 5-2. Like
yeah,
that's just what I'd be thinking, and like I wouldn't say there's any
yeah. Much rather back who, sorry?
in Vialan at
Oh
9 to
yeah,
1
fair enough.
than
Each
than
way, yeah,
Allaho,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, at 2-1. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's be
Fair
my
enough.
thinking on it anyway.
High class hero Killian won again. We're really still not sure about the level of form and that he's gone quite short there for the Albert Bartlett now. But probably another one that you just leave off at the moment.
Yeah, well, like it's hard to gauge these summer horses sometimes, and like that's what he was really until even like today, like he won on ground that wouldn't have suited, but like he's beaten a 130 horse by a length and a half. And
Yeah,
that's the thing I'd be thinking about, like, and I just I'm not sure like any of the form really, like a bit sequestered. In September in Listowel by 5 lengths. He's another 130 horse. Like you've got a bit of weight, give him weight, but like beating Tagman in a maiden in Galway, like it's sort of ordinary form. There's another race in Limerick. I won't name the horse that was second, but um there's I just find it hard to gauge these summer horses, and like at 10-1 or whatever he is for the Bartlett, I'll just get it up here. It's I think it's like there has to be something that with more class, and I know you like Predator's Gold. Like if he went up to the Bartlett, he's a way classier horse, I'd say,
yeah,
than High Class Hero. And
yeah. High
by
class hero is 6, 7 to 1.
is that what he is? Yeah,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah. You can get 10 to 1 there with Carl if you want
Yeah.
to give them your money.
I don't want to give any of them my money. Um, I'd say if Predator's Gold went up to the three matchup, like I'd much prefer Lecky Watson now
Yeah,
to High Class Hero. Like,
yeah,
and fair enough, High Class Heroes had plenty of runs, and he's that sort of maybe you can call him a battle hardened Bartlett type, but Jesus, I'd much rather Lecky Watson anyway. Even
much rather.
Lachlan that for Willie, like that
Yeah,
won the race down in Limerick at Christmas. Like I'd much prefer both of those to
yeah.
High Class Hero.
Somebody made a very good point on Twitter about Lecky Watson, possibly Martin Pipe horse, which I thought was an interesting angle. That trip, strongly
Yeah,
run
well,
race,
I'd
he'd be
say
staying
three
on.
miles would suit him even better than two and a
Yeah,
half. But like if they
yeah.
think
I
he's
think
got a lot
it
in
was
hand,
actually it was in
yeah.
response to me talking about him for the Bartlett.
Oh, okay, all right, I
Um,
didn't, yeah,
it could have been maybe in a comment underneath the video,
yeah,
but again, it's another angle. If he turned up to a Martin Pipe, I'd be interested. If he turned up to an Albert Bartlett, I'd be
yeah, yeah,
interested. Just a case of seeing where he is, but he's a very strong stayer, a very strong finisher, and one definitely to keep on side. We don't have much in the red this week, Killian, because we had very little racing. But one thing we do have in the red is global warming. It is no joke.
um,
Like the frost we've had last couple of weeks, it's hampered racing in a big way. And now we've a storm brewing outside, Storm Isha.
yeah.
But it's really getting in the way of our racing, Killian.
It is, yeah. Storm Isha or Isha, yeah. There's a horse Sam Curling trains called Ishan, and they call it that because he's a storm as well. He's a winning machine there down there. He's won a couple of races this season, but um, yeah, I think global warming. I don't know what we're going to do. We might have to put a roof on the place, to get
Yeah,
racing to keep on. Like, can we have
yeah.
indoor racing?
The what?
Indoor racing maybe?
Yeah, indoor racing. I'm not sure.
Expensive.
I actually had an idea for the frost. It's a bit wild now, and I said it to a few, and they shot it down straight away. I was only thinking, like, what can you do? Like, if you've got a bit of ground there, if most of the track is thawed out, but there's still some areas of it that are frozen. Would there be anything said, like, if there was a machine there, and if maybe 10 race courses could come together, and I'd know it would have to be manufactured probably, or maybe there's something like it out there already, but just bring it onto the track, back of a tractor, and fucking real hot steam. Drive real hot steam down into the ground. What
But
do you
then,
reckon?
yeah, you only thaw the very top of the ground, then though, like,
I don't know. If it's hot enough. Yeah, but that would be the one thing you'd need it designed in a way that it could sort of really get down a bit further. But I don't know. It'd be great if there was something there to help the poor frost, to keep the frost away. But I don't think there's much getting in the way of Mother Nature right at the same time, Killian, is there?
no, I don't think we can stop her.
No.
Unfortunately,
No.
we just need to recycle bottles and plastic and stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
best way to do
exactly.
it. We actually missed one in the Amber as well, Russell, on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Russell.
yeah.
Yeah.
Davey,
I was inside there. I was doing a bit of work on the laptop, and Davey came on and danced with the stars. He was the second fella on there now tonight. But he got a hard old going over by the judges. They were saying he was what was the term they used from I can't remember. It was he could have got a maximum of 30 points and he got 12.
yeah,
Um,
I didn't see it now, but I just saw Gavin Inch's tweet and he linked the video. He looked a bit stiff, all right, but I'd say there's more of a chance of Davy coming back and riding the winner of the Gold Cup than there is him winning Dancing with the Stars now,
there is,
unfortunately.
yeah,
I'd say
absolutely.
he's under pressure up there, but fair play to him for giving it a go, like.
Oh, yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah,
No, I enjoyed watching him there now tonight.
yeah,
I'd like to see him get through there. I'd watch it now again
yeah.
next week if
Wins the
you
voting.
know, I don't know when it is. I don't know if it's all judges or all voting or what. I have no
I don't
idea.
know. I don't know. You're
But
the RT man.
if Davey's in it next week, I'll watch it again next week.
Yeah,
So
I probably won't.
there's one good reason for RT to keep Davey in it, get
Yeah,
viewership up.
yeah.
If nothing else. But Killian, my housemate, his car broke down there in Stormisha, and it was towed to a nearby garage, and I have to go and collect him now. He's after texting me there 5 minutes ago saying he needs to be collected.
That's no problem. Best of luck with it.
So,
Hopefully you
and
get
I
out of the
hope,
storm all right.
yeah, thank you. And you're over the west of Ireland, you're going to get the storm a bit worse.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we've no podcast next week, Killian's house might have caved in on top of him or something like that.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't, and hopefully we're all alive this time next week as well. So this is huge. So yeah,
That'd be massive.
yeah, huge
It'd be a
boost.
great boost.
Yeah, savage boost for the podcast to have two people alive. Right. Okay, that'll do.
Right, go on. Good luck.
Thanks. Good luck. Bye.
It's Honey stuck